Hi guys, my name is Kier, also known as Hobokiki, and today we're in my Hobonichi cousin, my baby, my pride and joy. This is the week that we're currently in. This is the weekly section setup. I will have that linked in the description below, and we'll be using the same stickers that we used in the weekly section in our daily section setup. I am using this PET tape and these stickers that I actually believe are both from Journal Say. I know I said in the previous video that the stickers are from eStarCase.com, but that's not true. They're both from Journal Say, and I do apologize for that. Why didn't y'all correct me? But anyways, I'm going through and I'm seeing where the week falls, and I noticed that I don't like how when the title page cuts off the week. I don't like that. So I'm immediately cutting the page out. Now, this hack that I usually do usually works. However, my scissors are getting dull. You can see my previous videos where it's very easy for me to rip out a page in the Hobonichi cousin, but I struggled, and that's because my scissors are getting dull. You need very sharp scissors with a very sharp back. So the hack didn't work as good as it always does, but that just means I need to get something sharper, and that's fine. I am going to white out the dates here because I already ripped out a page, so obviously things are not aligned correctly, and that's fine. And I'm going to use the PET tape to start putting my clouds at the top of the page. Now, if you're new here, hi, how are you? I know it may have been jarring to immediately rip out a page in the Hobonichi cousin, but this is nothing new for me. I definitely make the Hobonichi cousin work for me, not the other way around. And I did that, like I stated previously, just because I don't like how the title page kind of like cuts the week off in the middle. I prefer to have all my days that are part of one week all together. So when it does this, I kind of like figure out how I can either squish all of my week onto the pages before the title page comes, or I rip out pages and, I figure it out. I figure a way to make it where the week doesn't get interrupted by the title page. And this time it was to just cut off a page. Now, the page is not going to waste. If you guys know anything about the Hobonichi cousin, it is too damn expensive to be putting anything to waste, right? And that's really not its fault. Like, if you get it in Japan, it's obviously much more affordable, but then it's the fact that you have to import it from Japan, and that's where the price kind of gets a little sticky. But yeah, it is what it is. So I'm not going to waste that page that you saw me tear out. I will actually use it to basically add to the following week, since it is technically, well, one page was specifically for the following week. So you'll just have to stay a part of this journey to see how I'm using it. It's easier shown rather than for me to tell you. What is happening here, you may ask? I know there's a lot going on. It may be a shock. It's like what? You don't just write it? No, I have to make it fun. I don't know why. Well, it's partially because I used to be really into bullet journaling, so I just brought the aspect of bullet journaling into my Hobonichi cousin. But what's happening here is I already knew that I wanted to make like this Dutch door, I guess a horizontal Dutch door in my Hobonichi. So I am placing the PET tape where I believe it would look best. And then I am going to cut around the clouds to really make the idea pop out. And you'll see what I mean here in a little bit. Now, the Hobonichi cousin paper is Tomoe River paper, also known as Bible paper. And it's excruciatingly thin. But, there are pros and cons to everything. The pros to it being so painfully thin is that you can see what happened in the previous page. You can see where you place stickers. So I'm using that to my advantage, taking the PET tape and trying to line it up to where I placed it on the previous page. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm also using the tape and I guess it's like little time slots to kind of figure out where exactly I can place the tape. And it actually works out pretty well. I like the look of it. Now I can actually take my scissors and get to cutting. I have to cut it like this. I don't know how people cut it any other way, but you have to flip the journal or planner. I guess technically the Hobonichi is both, which is why I like it. Because the weekly section is like, well, how I use it, the weekly section is more of a planner, and then the daily section is more of a journal. So it's both. That's why you'll hear me use those words interchangeably. But, anyways, I am just cutting around the clouds right now and like hoping I'm not cutting too much into the clouds that are behind it, but I do know that I lined it up pretty well. So I do think I wind up cutting a little bit of the clouds off, but not an alarming amount. And I'll show you once we can turn the page here. See, there's still a little bit of a white border around most of the clouds, so I'm happy with that. And you can see the clouds on the previous page that wasn't cut as well. So I like that. I like the layering look. It was really just about layering. You could do this with multiple different kind of stickers. Just be careful. You kind of want to have something that's similar to the sticker that you put on the first page that you're going to put on the back of the page, if that makes sense. Because let's say you put a square at the top and then on the next, or you flip the page and on behind that you put a circle. It's not going to look exactly right because they don't have the same measurement. So you kind of want to stick with stickers that have kind of the same shapes. Even if they're organic shapes like clouds, you still want to make sure they're having the same shape. So now I am kind of like going through my stickers here and trying to select which stickers I would love to have on my pages. And there's lots to choose from, to be honest. All these girls are super cute. I love their little umbrellas. And if you're new here, hi, how are you again? Each month, I do follow a theme in my Hobonichi cousin. And this month's theme is like sky, sky, space, that kind of shenanigans. So, whatever. It doesn't really, like, it's not a very strict theme. It's just something to help me make sure everything is cohesive for the month. So it's very aesthetic looking, as well as use up some of my old stickers, as well as just know where I am for that day. Because I do cover my days, as you can see here. I do cover them a lot. So it's a quick way to know like where I am in the week. So that's why I do it. Maybe I'm thinking I should make a video about how exactly I plan on what stickers I use and the choosing of a theme. If you guys are interested in that, I can definitely show that. But right now, I am just making like a little box here, and that is where I'm going to write which week it is. I don't need this here at all. I do it simply because I like seeing it there. That is it. It's really a design choice. It is completely unnecessary though, but I like seeing it there. So that's why it gets put there. And then I am going to stick this sticker down here. And then I didn't like this little space here, so I wanted to cover it up. At first I thought I could like bring the umbrella over and kind of layer. And though I am a big fan of layering, I just didn't like that it still had like a little awkward space to the left of the umbrella. So that's why I brought it back to where I had it, simply because I'm thinking about where I'm going to write at. And I didn't want to have to write in a awkward space like that. This week, I am deciding to share with you guys a few little tips that could help you have more cohesive spreads, more aesthetic spreads. If you really want it, it's really not hard, which is why I can do it every week without missing a beat, and I'm sure you could too. Um, I also just want to let you guys know that I will be showing my journaling process for a day here, just so you guys can see it. And it is the actual, like, me writing in the journal, so you guys can see me actually doing it, not just a skip in the video. So, one of the first things that you can do to get all of your daily pages for the week looking nice, prim, and proper is to give them all the same layout. It will immediately give cohesiveness, which is going to make the spread more eye appealing. So, what I like to do sometimes, not all the times, in fact, is it's something that I don't do enough, is I'll use the natural divider that's in the daily pages, and each day will get a line drawn where that divider is. So where the time slots are, there is right to the right of it a darker line, and I just use that line, which I'm using right now with this ruler, and I am going to make it even bolder and just go ahead and cut the page, since that's what the Hobonichi cousin wanted you to do anyways. It was already there, so why not just follow its lead? You know what I'm saying? So I am cutting the page where that natural line is, and if you're new here again, what I like to do is journal twice. The first journaling that I do each day is a journaling prompt from Coffee Monsters Co. And then the second journaling that I do is basically whatever happened that day, what I want to talk about that day. So that's what I'll do for these pages. And now they look pretty similar, but not like super similar to where it's boring. I am using different stickers, and I did already cut the pages. So even though I'm using the exact same layout for each day, it still has some visual interest because, like I said, the pages are cut. We already got like a Dutch door situation going on, and I'm using different stickers. Another way you can add cohesiveness and therefore make a visually appealing spread is to use the same color. Monochromatic spreads are the easiest way to have an eye-catching spread without doing anything at all. In fact, like I told you guys before, I do have a planner friend who is completely opposite of how I plan. I wouldn't say maximalist because I still don't do all the stickers in the world, but I get a little creative, I get a little decorative, and she doesn't use stickers at all. She just uses highlighters and like different colored pens. But one thing that I noticed that she does is like, one page will be like maybe all green, like she'll use green ink and green highlighters, and it looks good because it's automatically cohesive because she's using the same color, and it's so pretty. And she doesn't have any decorations in her journal, in her planner at all. So honestly, if you want to just easily, make a cohesive spread, just use the same color. It's hard to mess that up. It's really hard, actually. My daughter, who actually got into journaling without me, she just one day showed me that she was into journaling. She does junk journaling, actually, but she has spreads. Like, she does have an all blue spread. So she has this one page that's painted all blue, and then she pasted like a bunch of like blue cardboard stuff, like cereal stuff that she cut out, and like candy wrappers, and like post-it notes that she put in there, some blue stickers, and it now that's maximalist because she literally put everything onto the page, but it looks so good. And one of the reasons I think it looks good is because it's all blue. So if you really don't know like where to start when it comes to decoration, start with a monochromatic page, and I promise you it's so hard to mess that up. Another way to make your pages look cohesive is to give them the same title. Now, I am titling the days of the week here just because they are slightly covered, and I just like doing it. It's unnecessary, but it's something that you can do. And today I tried somewhat of a little different of a font. I don't know why this was the font I chose to do, but I'm not mad of it or mad at it. I said mad of it. I'm not mad at it. And I really do like that instead of putting the title in the exact same place, I did put it on different areas of each page, just depending on where I felt like it would fit better. And although it's not completely cohesive in the fact that every title is not exactly at the same spot, because I am using the same font, it still looks nice all together. So, and that's something that I like to do. I don't like everything to be matchy matchy. That I don't like for sure. Like you can have a cohesive spread without having everything in the exact same spot. But if you do that, it does still look good. I'm not going to lie. It's just for me, I like to have a little bit of a visual interest. So I do like to place maybe some stickers in a different area, maybe put the title in a different area. You know, it is the same title, but it's in a different area. And it makes your eye kind of like wander around the page a little bit more. So that's something that you can try doing. Placement definitely does help when it comes to uh, making your eye travel around the page. So I would say just be mindful of where you're putting things. Now, I did want to show you guys that I wrote the Coffee Monsters Code journaling prompt down, but I hated what I did around it. I basically tried to draw like a little cloud around the journaling prompt, but I hated how that looked. So instead of like kicking myself or keeping it there, I just decided to rewrite the areas where I accidentally whited out the prompt and then just go over it with a highlighted box. And that's how I'll write my journaling prompts for the week. But yeah, to me, that looks so much better. Sometimes simplicity is best. Sometimes it really is. Here is the flip through of the spreads with the journaling prompt put in them. Like I said, this week I definitely went simple. I didn't overthink anything, but it's still very interesting because of the Dutch store action I got going on, and the monochromatic colors. So, although my stickers aren't all over the place like I usually like to have them, I still like how this looks visually, and I am excited to start writing in it. And I did put that extra page there for next week, and you'll just have to watch how I incorporate that, I guess, because I don't even want to try to explain that without a visual representation in the background. All right, now that we have set up the week, let's go ahead and actually write in it. Again, I journal twice on one page, so I am going to start with the journaling prompt from Coffee Monsters Co. And it essentially asked if you could wish something for someone, then what would you wish for them to come true? Basically, like if you can hope something for someone, what would you hope for? And I first started off, what I recommend is just writing. Like, write whatever you feel like you have to write. Whatever comes to mind, you should be writing it down, even if it's not coherent, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you're asking yourself questions, which I do all the time. Just write exactly like how you would, like kind of like you're having a conversation with yourself. That's how I would recommend you journal. And then, so the first paragraph I wrote about my kids because obviously, as a mother, I'm always wishing for them to have a good life and however that may look for them. So that's like something that I just notated. And then I actually decided to answer the question. And so skipped a line, basically made a new paragraph and started talking about my mom and how I would wish for her to retire early. My mom has always been a hard worker. I'm pretty sure that's where I get my work ethic from. Um, However, it's just like, okay, you can chill now. You can relax. Like I would want nothing more for her than to retire, go live somewhere on the beach if that's what she wanted. Just relax, you know. So that's what I'm essentially writing here. Again, I'm not worried about misspelling things. Sometimes when I misspell things, I will cross it out and write it again. Sometimes I'll put in parentheses SP question mark, like, is that how you spell it? And then sometimes I'll just put dot 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 and then I'll write the word correctly and then I'll put in LOL. Like, I'm really not caring if I misspell the word. Sometimes I just leave it misspelled and I don't give a damn. It just is what it is. It's not about like making it look as visually appealing when it comes to the writing portion. For me, the writing portion is really for my mental health. So we did the stickers and stuff to get everything looking nice. The writing portion is really about just getting out what I need to get out. And now I am going to add another title. So, what I like to do when it comes to the second portion of my writing is essentially title like the main thing that I'm going to be talking about. So, whatever I am going to be talking about, I'll make a title for that as well. That is my main focus point for the day. And I have been having some power outages. I don't even know if power outages is the correct like term for what's been going on, but basically I have not been having power and it has been killing me softly. So I did make a title for that. I am just doing my very normal like block lettering and I did put a little thunderbolt there because I did not like the spacing. And I have been doing this weird thing with my O's where I make them small at the top and then I put another letter underneath them. Don't know why, but that's the thing now. And that is how I title basically what's going on that day. And I like doing this for multiple reasons. One, I can know exactly like what happened when I'm flipping through pages, like what was the main focus of that day because I see it in big block lettering. And then two, I know there are days where it just may get too busy and I can't journal for that specific day, but I will usually put down like a title like this. So when I do go back to journal, I know what I'm talking about for that day. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And so I am just going to talk about the power concerns. I think that's the better way to put it because it's not like there has been no power in my area. There has just been no power in my home. I know that's terrible. But I guess what had happened was there was like a outlet that was bad, I guess. And so it made all the other outlets bad and that took out the power. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but that's why I called someone who was. And so he came in and he was a new guy, new maintenance, which I absolutely love because I'm sorry if you're old maintenance and you're watching this, which I'm pretty sure you're not, but you sucked. I'm sorry, that was so rude, but they were so mean to me, you guys. I hated when I had to call maintenance because they would like make it like it's my fault, and it be the most random things. Like, how could this be my fault? Like one time, um, and y'all, and when I tell you the horror stories that I've lived in these apartments, but it's okay. Everything is fine. I'm not complaining, but I am going to complain about like how they treated me. I'm not complaining about what occurred. I'm complaining about how they treated me, okay? There's a difference. So, one time my sink was just like, I don't know what happened with it, but there was some kind of leak. And to get to the leak, you actually would have to like he took apart the whole sink, like the floorboards, like everything, like the cabinet was ripped out, bro. And then he finally found the leak, but like he tried to make it seem like it was my fault, and I'm like, you see how you had to tackle that problem? You literally had to rip open walls. In what way would that be my fault? You know what I'm saying? There was nothing like in a disposal or nothing like that. Like nothing was clogging it. So there was like nothing that I could have done to produce that leak. But he tried to make it seem like it was me. And I was just, I don't know, that was so frustrating. So I'm glad I have like new maintenance, and they're super kind and they're so patient, and they really tried hard to get the problem resolved, even though I was a little bit irritated because I had to take off of work, but they were so chill about it. So that's what I wrote about. And this is the final spread. Sorry, we almost took a detour about about, concerns that we did not need to talk about, but I just had to let you guys know how I was feeling. But this is it. I did keep this page. I will be showing how I use that in the next weekly or daily section setup, so be on the lookout for that. And that is it, you guys. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video. If you dislike the video, feel free to dislike the video. It's whatever, bro. Stay safe and stay creative. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.